Based upon this image, what is imperialism? Based upon this image, why would Europeans want to imperialize? Based on this image, what was the impact of imperialism? From 1850 to 1914, the strong, industrialized nations of Europe used imperialism to seize colonies and dominate the local governments and economies in Africa and Asia. Why did the industrialized nations of the world imperialize? Causes: nationalism, economic competition, missionary spirit. Effects: colonization, colonial economics, Christianization. Nationalism in Europe meant that each nation wanted to become the most powerful. Having a lot of overseas colonies showed power. This turned into an all-out race for the best and most numerous colonies in Africa and Asia. The Industrial Revolution led to a huge demand for raw materials, so countries could make more factory-produced goods. The Industrial Revolution caused a huge demand for new overseas markets to sell their finished goods. Having numerous colonies in Africa and Asia helped fuel the Industrial Revolution. Christian missionaries wanted to convert the uncivilized natives in the world by creating churches, schools, and hospitals. Europeans believed in an idea called social Darwinism that argued that whites were the most evolved and superior race. Europeans believed in the white man's burden, that they had a responsibility to civilize the world. Forms of imperialism. Colony. Europeans seize a territory and rule it directly by sending governors to the colony. Protectorate. Local governments exist, but Europeans make all real decisions in order to protect their trade. Sphere of influence. Nations gain exclusive trading rights in the territory, dominate all trade, but allow the local government to make other decisions. Motivations for imperialism activity. What factors contributed to the rise of imperialism by European nations? Examine the 5 major motivations for imperialism on your chart. Read each description and create a symbol of your own choosing. Visit each of the 15 stations and write a brief explanation of what you see in the chart. Match the station information with one of the 5 imperial motivations that you just created a symbol for. Let's try the first few together. Placard A. An open shaft diamond mining at Kimberley in South Africa, 1872. Which imperial motives might you see here? Imperial motives that students might see here are economic, African labor, exploiting natural resources for profit, and ideological, Europeans treating Africans as inferior. So on row A, put a brief description, draw your symbol for motive, and then explain why you believe you're right. Placard B. A Methodist Sunday School in Angola, 1925. What imperial motives might you see? Imperial motives that students might see here are religious, Europeans spreading Christian values in education, and ideological, teaching European customs and beliefs. Placard C. Germans taking possession of Cameroon in 1881. Imperial motives students might see here are political. The flag shows national identity or a desire to possess new territory. European and African leaders meeting. European military presence. And exploratory, exploring foreign lands. Placard D. As yet the Congo Basin is a blank, a fruitless waste, a desolate and unproductive area. It has been our purpose to fill this blank with life, to redeem this waste, to plant and sow, that the dark man may gather, to vivify the wide, wild lands so long forgotten by Europe. But cursed be he or they who, animated by causeless jealousy and a spirit of mischief, will compel us to fire our station, destroy our work so conspicuously begun, and abandon Africa to its pristine helplessness and savagery. An imperial motive students might see here is ideological, a belief in superiority of Europeans, or that Europeans should, quote, civilize Africa. Placard E. Africans bringing ivory to the wagons in South Africa, circa 1860. An imperial motive students might see here is economic, collecting African resources. F. A sketch map of Central Africa showing Dr. Livingstone's exploration. Placard G. Excerpt from The White Man's Burden. Take up the white man's burden, send forth the best ye breed. Go bind your sons to exile to serve your captives' need. To wait in heavy harness, on fluttered fold and wild, your new-caught sullen peoples, half devil and half child. Rudyard Kipling, 1899. Advertisement, The White Man's Burden, is through teaching the virtues of cleanliness. Pears soap. Placard H. Mrs. Maria C. Douglas, doctor and missionary, and the first class of pupil nurses in Burma, 1888. Placard I. The Partition of China. The heathen Chinese, what a channel for Christian expansion is he. Then ho for the flowery land of the east, like vultures will swoop on the promising feast. Commission your navies, ye nations so free, to bear the true light to the heathen Chinese. If Russia makes converts, it's perfectly clear we need for converting a well-defined sphere. If Germany's missions hold meetings for prayer, so Christian a work 'tis our duty to share. Incidentally, too, there is cash to be made. There's not like religion to stimulate trade. Then come all ye teachers and preachers and fighters, backed up by the press and its wonderful writers. Let's give to this darkened and downtrodden nation a touch of the blessings of civilization. And our Christian maxims will work, you will see, a change for the good in that heathen Chinese. British cartoon showing the Chinese being savaged by European powers, and the poem, The Partition of China, 1897. Placard J. Bagged ground nuts in pyramid stacks in West Africa. Placard K. French capture of the citadel of Saigon, Vietnam. Placard L. Lipton's Teas. British Lipton tea advertisement in the 1890s. Placard M. A British cartoon, The Rhodes Colossus, showing Cecil Rhodes' vision of making Africa all British from Cape to Cairo, 1892. Placard N. Epitaph and quote from missionary and explorer David Livingstone. The epitaph reads, "Brought by faithful hands over land and sea, here rests David Livingstone, missionary, traveler, philanthropist. Born March 19, 1813, at Blantyre, Lanarkshire. Died May 1st, 1873, at Chitambos village, Ulala. For 30 years, his life was spent in an unwearied effort to evangelize the native races, to explore the undiscovered secrets, to abolish the desolating slave trade of Central Africa, where with his last words he wrote, 'All I can add is my solitude, is may the heavens' rich blessings come down on everyone, American, English, or Turk, who will help to heal this open sore of the world.'" Placard O. An imperial yacht passing through the Suez Canal in Egypt at the opening of the canal in 1870. Discussion questions. Which motivation appeared the most? Why do you think that was the most common motivating factor? What similarities did you see between the different documents? What perspective was missing from the documents? Closure activity, The White Man's Burden. Read Rudyard Kipling, The White Man's Burden, and answer the discussion questions printed on your worksheet. According to the poem, what is the white man's burden? Number 2, according to Kipling, why is the white man getting involved in imperialism? 3, how does the poem demonstrate racism? Find specific examples from the poem. 4, do you think Kipling's poem is in favor of or against European imperialism? Why?